Hi, Jenny here. Just thought I would do an update on what's been going on in the last week and a half. Today is Monday, April 17th, and last week I had 2 appointments. So on Tuesday I had blood work done. So what they did again was put another Q-tongue, I don't know, thumbtack type thing. They did it through the port. The gal asked me if I wanted to use my vein or my port. And I was like, well, I would use my port. And she said, well, some people, even though they have a port, they want to use their vein. And I was kind of thinking, it's going to hurt either way. And that's kind of the purpose of the port. So I don't feel anything when they do the blood draw. I feel a little bit of the stick when they first put the needle in, which I would anyway. But then I don't feel the blood draw. I don't feel the flushing of it and whatever. But in any case, they put that in. They got their 3 vials and they left it in. Which there too I was a little confused about as to like, well, what do you think you're going to find in the numbers? What would you still need that on me for? But because this is the first time I was doing just a blood work thing. So I already had a few tears welling up. I believe right before that I went in back even for that part that the receptionist had to call down like to the front desk and say that they'd called for an ambulance. So got the needle thing put in. Went back out in the waiting room, waited for the nurse, and had a few tears running just because, again, for me, brand new something or other, how it's working. I was by myself. Wayne went to work because this was only supposed to be like a half-an-hour appointment. So anyways, grabbed some tissues, and then the paramedics were there and they wheeled a gentleman out, and I heard him explaining, oh, this is the second time this happened to me, and but at least he was talking and looked okay type of thing or whatever as they brought, but even still, a little disconcerting that as you're getting some type of treatment, something obviously can happen and you may have to leave, via ambulance. So again, some more tears, and then I got called back by the nurse, and so I had the nurse and the receptionist both asking, is like, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I'm like, it's just emotional. Just kind of my emotional roller coaster is my life. So I got back with the nurse, and she, did the regular questions and blood work and temperature and said, okay, well, there's one more ahead of you, and then you'll be seen or whatever. And I'm like, well, who's seeing me? And she said, well, the nurse navigator or the nurse practitioner. And I'm like, well, I thought that's who you were. And she's like, no. I'm like, okay. So I thought, jeepers, if there's one in front of me, as in she's already with somebody else, and then she's got to see that, and then me, so that's at least 15 minutes behind, if not more. So I'm like, okay. In the meantime, that day I was having a little bit of rectal pain, and then again, I'm still taking my Advil all day, and so somehow that wasn't kind of taking it away. I had some pain, and I'm like, well. So sitting there going, reminiscing on when I used to go to the doctor when I was healthy, and I could just sit there and healthy and go, yeah, whatever, if they're running late, yeah, it's annoying, but it's, it is what it is. And this time being a little bit of pain and thinking, I want to go home. Like, how long is this going to take? I don't know. So I pulled up some videos on my phone, I played a couple videos while waiting, and thinking, jeepers, the nurse had asked if I wanted some water and stuff, and I thought, well, no, because again, this is supposed to be quick. I have water in the car. I had my electrolyte drink in the car, so I'll be fine when I get to the car. And it was taking so long, I'm like, oh, I should have had some water. I'm like, when I feel like laying down, can I lay down on these chairs? Then finally got a knock on the door. And the nurse practitioner came in and said, so I know you were supposed to see this other gal, but she had to go to a meeting, and so you'll be meeting with me. And I think I actually met her once before, but in any case. So we talked, and it was all good, and again, very nice, and talking about things as far as, I think I mentioned that I was having some pain, and she said to take pain medicines, and she was, looking at my chart, she was, looks like you have some tramadol at home, go ahead and use it, and if you run out, just let us know, we'll refill your prescription for you. It's like, we want you to be comfortable, we don't want you to be in pain. So again, very nice to hear and know that. Talking about side effects of the chemo, and she said that I'm in that very low percentage of people that are super sensitive to I think it's oxyplatin, where I had those side effects on the first dose already. And she said, if anything, like the fatigue will probably get worse. as the treatments go on. So I'll feel that more. So I was like, okay, fine. Also, again, very much so, like, if you have any questions, anything going on, anything you're uncertain of, anything, call us. Call us. We've got all these resources here that can help you and all that. So again, so nice. So love that. Then I finally got to go get my needle out. And that was done by the other nurses that actually do the treatments and stuff. It wasn't done by lab. So that was good. I had so there's a couple main nurses that work the floor. So one of them that I've done it before, she took out my needle. And I think that was about it. I got to go. Hour and a half later. It was like 11 o'clock. And I got in the car and drank a bunch of my electrolyte. I went to the library and I was going to donate some books, and I dropped some stuff off in the book return, and as I reached for the bag that was on the seat and I lifted it up, I felt like this big whoosh, and I felt like I peed myself, and I'm like, oh boy. Got the books in the book drop. I always have a towel in the car. I got that under my butt. And just came home. And so I got in the bathroom and think my age, 56. Usually I always have some urine leakage. I've been wearing pads forever, so I always have a pad on. So thank goodness I had the pad on, and that kind of caught what was going on. I didn't feel like I had to urinate, so I was like, I don't know what in the world's going on, but even when I went to the bathroom, I didn't have to go. But I had output in the pad. I had some, like, all right, whatever, I'm sitting here, nothing's coming out. So, changed that out, whatever. Sat down for a little bit to do, something. And then when I got up, I had another whoosh. Went back to the bathroom, whatever, and thinking, it kind of feels like I'm having a period. So, even though I'm like 2 years in menopause, I know I've heard that happening to people. So I will have to clarify with the doctor whether this is just my body doing that thing that a couple years later you get a period, or if this is also something that happens when you're getting chemo. So again, my experience doesn't mean it happens to everybody. Doesn't mean I have to clarify, see what's going on with my body. But that was interesting. That's great. Like, all this stuff going on. Let's throw a period on top of there for you too. All right. So that's about it. For the rest of the day, I had a little bit of pain. It was okay. Wednesday, I had the follow-up, the post-op appointment with the physician assistant regarding my ostomy bag, and I was in pain all morning. I know by 10:30, probably 10:30ish, I think I went and sat on the couch and tried to read and do that for a while, and then I just kind of started crying, 11:30, quarter to 12. And so Wayne nicely, came over because he was going to the appointment with me, so he took off. And it's like, what's going on? What can I do for you? How can I help? And he's like, you know what? Let's take a tramadol. And through my tears, I'm saying, I'm afraid that this is going to be the new norm, and I don't want that to happen. That's all. He was like, you know what? One day at a time. Let's get through today. Let's just take a pain pill. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that, because again, it doesn't make me nauseous. It doesn't make me tired. I can still function. And like, he's driving, so that's okay. So I did. Took the tramadol. Took my pain level from probably about a 6 down to about a 1.5, 2. So that was good. Had some lunch, even though I kind of wasn't all that hungry, but I needed to eat because it was lunchtime. So then we went to St. Luke's to have the appointment. So it was all fine, driving there and everything, getting in to see him. I was feeling a little woozy. I'm like, but chance, do you guys have any orange juice here? Nope, I had water with me, but that wasn't kind of doing it. I'm like, all right, even though I had lunch, I'm still feeling just a tad lightheaded. But got through that appointment, told him everything seems to be fine. I've changed out my bag 3 times, I think, at that point. No, twice, because we changed it the day after. I changed it out twice. Skin was looking good, didn't have any irritation. Things seemed to be going fine. My cuts seemed to have, be healing fine. Eating was going fine. I asked him about, actually, well, first of all, I mentioned to him that I was having mucus come out my butt, and it also seems that sometimes I was having feces, poop come out. And so I think he glanced at my record and said, well, I have a diverting ileostomy, which means I guess part of the large colon is still connected on there, so most of the output's going to come into the bag, but there may be once in a while something may slip beyond and get into the colon. So that's interesting. Again, didn't know that. Haven't really looked that up or researched that at all yet, but good to know. So, and again, yep, this is just going to be an ongoing thing. I guess it's okay. Asked him about food, because I mentioned how I talked to the dietitian, and asked a few things, and she said, well, just confirm with the doctor. So I asked about fresh fruit, and he said, yeah, I can start adding that back in, just again, small amounts. Take, just a couple bites of something type of thing, and see how the body does with that. So, it's good to know. What else did I ask about? I think about hamburger and stuff, which he said was fine. Obviously the protein powder, the drinks, the smoothies. Asked about beans, and he said too, he's like, yeah, it's more of a gas type thing than a blockage type thing of the casing of the beans or anything like that. So they're small. He says the only like absolute is no shellfish, because the small intestine can't digest that at all. And I said, yeah, I know, like, and no nuts. And he said, well, in reality, nuts are okay, but you need to eat them slowly and chew. Because most people, they grab a handful of nuts and throw them in their mouth and chew 3 times and swallow. He goes, that's not chewing, that's not enough. You need to just pay attention. So again, yay, because at that point I was 3 weeks out. Tomorrow I'll be 4 weeks out. So again, to be able to eat a few more choices of food, like fresh fruit. Happy about that. So that's about how that went. I mentioned the tramadol. I said, because they were the ones that, he was the one that prescribed the tramadol, and that was for the ostomy, which I told him I hadn't really needed it for that, but I did need it for the port placement, and then I had taken one that day, and that was fine. He didn't seem to think anything about that. Got home and pretty much rested. Thought about maybe we're going to go out to eat afterwards, because again I'm thinking, I can have hamburgers, and I can have pizza, and I can have like a quesadilla, but no, with being in pain and all that, I just want to be home and rest. So Wayne did go out later that night and picked up some Panera for us, for him and Cassie and my mom, and I got a strawberry smoothie, and that went down really well, and that was very nice. And I did not need another tramadol that day, so that was good. And in fact, I have not needed one since then, so also happy about that. That's about it. The sensitivity that I had, like, to the cold and stuff, and I don't know if I mentioned this in one of my last videos, that one of the other things is I get tingles in my cheeks when I eat. So the first bite of food that I have and in the morning specifically, sometimes lunch too, but like I have to remember, like, I'll take a small bite and chew like on the one side, and I kind of had like some cold, like cool explosion of tingles or whatever on the one side, and then I'd make sure the next bite I eat on this side, and then it would kind of like, then my mouth would be fine, whatever. I was woke up, and eating was fine. That finally went away a couple days ago, so I don't have that side effect anymore right now. So that's it for these last few days. Things have been going good. Been taking walks outside. That's good. Today's 30 degrees and snowy. So see if I get out there or not. If I do, I'm going to bundle up, and even though my side effects are kind of gone, I'll still have my scarf with me in case I need it, but I should be fine. That's it for now. On Wednesday, my birthday, I get my next treatment, and we'll go from there and see how that one goes. But just wanted to fill you in on these last few days. Again, keep you updated on how things go for me, in case anybody else is watching these videos, if it's helping them at all learn. Like I said, I've been watching a whole lot of videos, even though they are like 5 and 8 years old. Some of them have been a year old. A lot of the people, like I said, have irritable bowel syndrome or Crohn's disease, which I don't have, but at least they talk about the ostomy bag and what they're doing, like with that, how they change it, how they deal with any problems, anything that comes up and all that. So I just thought, again, as part of my documenting my journey here, for myself or for anybody else that hopefully will be able to say, oh yeah, I've had that symptom too, or oh, this is something you've experienced, I can ask the doctor about, or is this normal, or other people have experienced this, and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. So you guys, keep it positive, go make it a great day. Bye bye.